Scleroderma Foundation National Conference every year. I also teach at Scleroderma chapter and support groups, and I have our Yoga for Scleroderma class here every week on Tuesdays with Joanne. And in the last 2 years, I've gotten a lot of questions from people about how to strengthen, especially the quadriceps, all the muscles around the knee, and the core for getting upstairs, getting out of a chair, getting up off the floor, and getting out of a car. And here are a set presented in levels of difficulty so that as you become more proficient, you can increase the amount of work you're doing and continue to challenge yourself. So I'm going to be presenting both on the floor and in a chair and talking about this from what we're doing from a yoga point of view. And then we're going to be talking about how do we then adapt this. Okay. Joanne's going to be presenting our floor series. A year ago, she was working in the chairs. And Lori is going to be presenting adaptations on the go that she's coming up with right here and now in order to make everything we're doing accessible to everybody watching. So we're starting out with a series that are going to strengthen all the muscles around the knees. The first level, where you would start, is reclining, legs next to each other. Then I'm going to start with a very small lift. My legs are straight but not locked, and I'm going to lift. You might try the first time for 2 or 3. So it's just straight up. Then turn your foot out at a 45-degree angle. Now turn in. And each time you're getting different muscles. As you find your endurance is growing, add more repetitions. Now we're going to do the other side. Keep in mind, nobody's sides are identical to each other. You go until you feel like you've done a nice amount of work, but before fatigue. And don't worry if it's different on your 2 sides. So, straight up. Out. And in. Now I'm going to present this one on the chairs. So for that, really laid back move, I'm going to go straight up, side, and in. Now keep in mind that all I've done with the chairs is raise the floor so that I don't have to get down and up. I'm still on a level surface. So you could also do everything we just did, laying on your bed, on a couch, on any flat surface. You don't have to be getting down and up off the floor to do this just the way we presented it. So now, Lori has already adapted this. It's looking great.
So if your arms are sore or you have sore elbows or their stiffness is a little different, you can raise the floor up to you using a bolster, blankets, blocks. Bolsters are what works for me so that I don't have to be back so far. And I can still do the exercise just fine.
Do you feel it in the muscles around
Yes,
the knee?
I definitely do.
And that looks great. You've used the bolster to adapt yourself right into the same angle that we started with. next level.
Okay.
Each one of these is going to increase the amount of work. So the first way you increase your work is you do more repetitions. Then you start moving. So our next one is elbow down. Now I'm bending this knee and I'm bringing it across. You will find that with your knee across, you can't lift your leg as high. That is deliberate. It's really easy to use momentum instead of strength. Now I'm going to reach over. This is to support me. This is not decorative. And depending on the length of your arms, my arms are really long. You might also be holding on this side, whatever works for you. Same move, you're going up, out, and across. And then change sides. Up, out, and across. Joanne just winked at me. She's remembering that a year ago she was sitting in the chair and she couldn't do one.
Good job.
So,
So for this, because of my limitation, I can't grab. So I would take my strap that I have, and I would use the strap for stability, right? Is this arm on the outside? Right? And I would just do it this way. Out first.
so you're getting that same stability that we're getting by hanging on.
Yes.
And I would also like to mention, for those of you who have really muscular thighs, you will find that your motion is incredibly limited by bringing your foot across like that. Your move is only going to be this high. It's fine because it's more work. So don't think, oh, because I'm a cyclist or one of those others where you have really muscular thighs. Here, you're not going to get as much work as you will here. So don't worry about the height. It has nothing to do with it. It's what do you feel around your knee.
Or even if you're a patient that already has tightness because of fibrosis or scarring, which is my case, I'm really tight back here. So my movement in those may not be as much, but any movement is beneficial.
And slow, controlled movement takes so much more effort and gives you so much more results than using momentum to fling things around.
Yes.
Now, our second level of difficulty, where we're down a little further. So, my hips are much further across. Now, I could also use a padded folded chair. A lot of times we use towels or blankets. It's for comfort and safety. And then there. Third level. Now my arm is straight. And you notice what we're doing is we're taking the upper body and we're bringing it higher and higher and higher, which is increasing the work. So for this one, my arm is straight. So I'm still at an angle, but I'm up a little bit. So I'll do this one on this side. You can hold either side. As you start to move up, you're going to find yourself holding probably on the same side. And out. And in. And now the other side.
Okay, so for me, because my hands and my wrists don't bend, straight arm is difficult. So I would raise the floor up for my seat, put my arms out this way, and this is where either a block, another bolster, or these push-up bars would be. I'm gonna try the push-up bar for this one. Because you can then put this behind you at whatever angle you can reach. My hands can fit on it. So I get the behind me. This. Now this way, because I'm a little higher, I have the ability that I can hold. And my movement's not going to be very much because I am very tight and I'm stretching my body enough that I can still.
But that works beautifully because you've changed the angle of your back to move up just the way I did in the chair and Joanne did on the floor.
So then, I mean, even with my severely limited hand and no bend in my wrist, that's where this push-up bar comes in beautifully because that gives me that. So this way, there you go. And then I can hold a little bit here, or you can use a strap if the strap works better. I'm just going to use my hand. And I can really feel the workout there, so good. I'm still getting that full benefit.
And our fourth level. So now I am going to sit up straight. Now, right now, this is staff pose in yoga. And people look at it and think, you're sitting on the ground. This is an enormous amount of work. Straight legs, straight back. I'm working everything in the core, everything in my legs. This is a huge pose. And then I'm going to bend my knee. Now I'm going to leave it on the same side because I'm using it to help me keep my back straight and vertical. And then lift. And side. And side. And you will notice my leg hardly moves at all because that's everything I can do. Lift, and side, and side. Now what we're always trying to do is bring our bodies back into balance. And so you may have one side that is significantly stronger than the other. You would never skip that side in one of these poses, but it is absolutely fine to work the weaker side more as you bring your body back into balance, but don't skip one side. So, Lori.
So this one, I don't really have to modify this one that much. Yeah, I can get pretty straight. You just have to get creative with how you use your hands. And again, I'm tight here, so I get a lot of pull. If I needed to, or someone was more tight, moving up would be a little bit better.
So back up on the bolster?
Yes, moving up would be a little bit better. And I can do that as well. Just like that. So by moving it up, it's less, the angle is different, it's not so much. So then I can still, and I get a better grip this way because it seems to bring things closer. So then,
Yes, but you're up in a really vertical position, Summer. No, you're really feeling that.
I definitely am.
And one thing you can do if you need to be up a little is then use folded blankets, because then you can, on different days.
And if you don't have a chair, because chairs are sometimes hard, you can stack more blankets, or if you invest in props, you can stack 2 bolsters, just make sure they're the same type and size.
And we have quite a few blankets here, and we fold them into different shapes in place of having a lot of different shaped bolsters,
Yeah.
because then it fits more of our needs.
Right. But for home practice,
But if you are going to get blankets, try and get wool or cotton,
yes.
because they don't slip. An acrylic blanket is just going to slip. And often thrift stores, and especially Army
I was
Surplus.
just gonna say that.
Yes, Army Surplus is a great spot to get some really good quality blankets at a reasonable price. So there are 4 levels that will build the muscles that will keep you walking, climbing stairs, getting in and out of cars, getting up and down from a chair or the floor. And so glad you asked.